Hey there, friends. Hello once again. Thank you so much for streaming across my YouTube channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Marvin. If you're seeing me or meeting me for the first time, I know um, you get carried on with these things. You find an interest somehow into the things that I am talking about. But very quickly, as we move forward into the sharing for today or the presentation for today, I want to invite you to subscribe if you have not already subscribed. Subscriptions help to build a work like this because it's a number of things involved to be able to sustain a work like this. So I highly appreciate you being able to be kind enough to subscribe to the channel and then like the videos that you see and share them far and wide. And also, after everything else, be able to send in your comments, helpful comments that we can grow each other from and encourage each other from and build each other's muscle in terms of what we know and what we don't know. So you can be my shoulder in the areas where I'm weak in knowledge, and I can be your shoulder in the areas where I'm strong in that knowledge. So let's move fast forward. So today, an interesting subject. I did give a commitment in one of the videos I did in the recent past. I was talking about the establishment of the state of Israel and the things that look kind of like question marks, like red flags about the whole idea or the project, if we can call it that. Some people call it a project. And I gave a stream of different items that I would come and debate or discuss in isolated videos or individual videos covering all of those topics. Today I come to talk about DNA testing. I think that by now you know that DNA testing is illegal in the state of Israel. I don't know all the reasons. I don't think that any reasons have been forwarded really officially, but it is illegal to do DNA testing in Israel. Now, obviously, a lot of us who are thinkers and philosophers and explorers have been asking ourselves questions. Why would you forbid something that would prove your identity? Because the identity of the Jews that are in the land of Israel, the land that has been called Israel as recently as 1945, 1948, is under question. So people keep investigating, trying to find out, and they're always running into things that kind of confirm that, you know, maybe it's not the case. Also on my own, I've been doing that digging and research and investigation on my own, and I keep running into things that keep telling me, this is not what we thought it was. So today I present the evidence of DNA. So I'm going to play you a clip right now of one young person who has been trending for a long time on social media because of his shock, I guess, when he did the DNA testing. He went to Israel and he was welcomed there and so on, but at some point he felt led to do a DNA test. And then also the issue of the DNA testing is very important right now because, like, personally, in doing this investigation and research, I've had to listen to quite a number of scholars, one of which I've enjoyed is Dale Breton. Dale Breton has done such an extensive work in terms of finding out what the true origins of these people that are Israel are. And he's been strong in saying that they are not the original Jews. He's been strong and straightforward about that. And there's a number of other people that have also done that. But as I've listened to all of these people, it's almost as if I was still looking for something that would hit the nail on the head, like that would do it for me. I was still giving them, the Jews that are in Israel right now, a chance that, you know, maybe they're right. Despite the fact that listening to all of these scholars and theologians explaining the fact that those people cannot be the real Jews, I was still kind of hoping, okay, maybe they are all wrong. And even my own instinct was telling me those are not telling us the truth. But still, at the end of the day, at the back of my mind, I was saying, okay, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe we all could be wrong who are saying, no, they're lying. And so here's a clip I'm going to play you of one young man who is a Jew. Watch this.
I'll never forget the first time I went to Israel and I stepped off the plane, and the first thing that anyone said to me was, "Welcome home." I wasn't told welcome home because my ancestors were from Israel. I was told welcome home because I'm Jewish. Every single person who's Jewish that steps off the plane, especially for their first time in Israel, is told welcome home. Let's just sit with that for a second. This right here, this is my actual ancestry. I am 88% Ashkenazi Jewish, and none of my ancestors are from the Middle East. Zionist ideals and beliefs are far more based in colonization, imperialism, and just white supremacy culture than it is in truth and history and ancestry. The land that is called Israel now is not my home. It's not my ancestors' home. It's Palestinian.
All right, so there you have it. So here's a young man who went to Israel, believes he's Jew, and believes they're descended from the land, and he does a DNA test, and the DNA test shows him what a number of these other people who have been skeptics have been saying. Dell is one of them that has been saying these guys are Ashkenazis, they're Khazars, they originated from Russia and Hungary and Poland, mostly those countries, Slavic countries, so to speak. And at that time, because I was still fresh in the investigation and the research, I was like, okay, I need to look at this a little bit more. But you can see that that DNA test actually proves that every word that these people have said, that they're from Poland, Russia, and all of that is correct, because the DNA actually shows those countries. So it proves that they are not the original people of that land. Okay? Now, another interesting twist to this debate about DNA is actually proof in itself that the original people, and I haven't come to a conclusion, to a full conclusion yet. I'm still investigating these things. But at least this piece that I'm going to play you next kind of strengthens the case and the argument that the original Jews, Israelites, Hebrews, are actually dark-skinned African people. This next clip actually gives a lot of evidence and meat to the evidence that can be used to make that claim, which a number of people have made as a claim, that the actual Jews are actually African people. So let's go ahead and watch this very, very interesting clip from a leader of a tribe or a group of people in Zimbabwe. And I found this really interesting because Zimbabwe is a country right next to my country. And there's so many other things I can tell you, because also this country of Zimbabwe is part, I believe, was part of the Luba Lunda Kingdom, all right, in ancient times, and we don't have time to get into that. But I found this really interesting. There's been a number of places, by the way, before you even watch this clip, there's been a number of places where the people have claimed that they're Jews. Nigeria is one of them, Ghana is another, and then there's South Africa, and even Malawi. And I happen to come from a country which is sandwiched between these two countries, Malawi and Zimbabwe, where you actually find people who claim that they are the original Jews. And they hold to the old traditions of the Hebrew Israelites. They still abide by those traditions. Their ways have not changed. From generation to generation, they still hold on to these customs and traditional practices. So the clip that I'm showing you is now from a tribe called the Lamba. So in this clip, the leader of the Lamba people explains that actually the state of Israel, the government of Israel, actually came and did tests on them. And here's what they found. Watch this.
The government of Israel got interested in us. So because of my office also in the parliament, they also approached me, the government of Israel. So can you help us to collect some samples of DNA? We want to do our own test because we were hearing about your claim that you are Jews, but we want to do our own test on you. So I told them that it's not easy to go and tell someone that I want to collect your blood. It's not easy. So no, we don't take blood. We take saliva. So oh, that's okay. So they sent me a kit. from Tel Aviv. Then I collected some saliva, DNA samples. It was about 200 from the Lamba and about 60 from non-Lambas. And I sent it to Israel. So a year later, I went there to Israel to collect the results. And I met a guy at a hotel called Ramat Rashel Hotel in Jerusalem. So he gave me the results. So he said, we were talking, we were seated in the lounge. He said, do you see that? Because in Israel, there's a lot of black people, black boys doing the manual work, they sweep the roads, they run around, they sweeping, cleaning the hotels and all that. So there was one black boy, I think he's from Sudan or Ethiopia. He said, look at, you see that boy? I said, yes. He said, his gene percentage is at about 26%. So he said, but with us here, if you look at me, I'm a Jew, but my percentage is 1.5%. That's my DNA percentage. But with those samples who sent to us, they know that the labor percentage is 70%, 70%. Not only that you are Jews, but that your blood is only found in the Levites. Not only in the Levites, but in the Kohanim, in the priests of Israel. So that's what he told me. Then I thought maybe he was going to give us an official something written that this is our findings. But up to today, they haven't given me the results.
Another interesting place that you're finding descendants of the Israelites, but may not necessarily be from the 10 tribes, but will also play a role. And it shouldn't be overlooked. It's a very serious scenario. Is in Africa. Africa has perhaps hundreds of millions of people with this identity right now of being from the people of Israel. Does that mean they were from the 10 tribes? Likely not. We were taught by the historians and within our own traditions that when the Romans conquered Judea, a few hundred years after that the tribes of Israel went into exile, perhaps millions of Judeans were sold into slavery, into Africa, into Rome, deep into Africa. And if you look now, you're seeing people who are most likely the descendants of those slaves who kept true. I like to bring up a few specific examples because they're going to be game changers. One of them wrote letters to Israel when it became a state. And they said, we're Israelites out in Africa. You know, everyone laughed at them and they said, African Israelites, these people are just trying to jump on the first world country bandwagon. They're living in a third world country. They got nothing. We're coming to Israel. We got innovation, technology. So they're trying to get on this train because there's such a thing called the right of return. All descendants of the Jewish people from around the world were able to move to Israel. So they said we are also. And everyone kind of laughed at them, like I said. And a few people took it serious and went out there and started studying them, learned about their culture. And a professor from Duke University went out there and did DNA testing on them. And he showed not only do they share Semitic genes from people who were in Yemen and back to the Middle East, these gentlemen, a large percent of them, have the Y chromosome to be Kohanim, to be priests. Now, if anyone who doesn't know, a priest is a specific family clan of the nation of Israel who come from Aaron, the brother of Moses, who was the first priest. And anyone descended from Aaron has the status title priest. And we found that these men in this village in South Africa called Lamba, L-E-M-B-A, carry this genetic marker to let us know that they share the same as from the Sephardic and the Ashkenaz and the population of the people in Israel today. They share the same exact DNA marker. That's mind-blowing. So everyone kind of got humbled a little bit who laughed at them and said, now what? Now what do we do about this? This could have tremendous implications. Another area in Africa you have something big happening is in Nigeria. You have the Igbo people, or Igbo. pronounced either way. There's 40 million of them, also Christians, like I spoke about before, how that could happen to the children of Israel very easily. But also a lot of them are now coming out and converting back or adopting the rules of the Torah without all the paganism that they've been practicing for hundreds of years. There's been books written about it from scholars in Nigeria, from scholars from the Jewish people. And where it gets interesting is, in America, there was a slave trade. And a lot of the slaves, a very high percentage of them, came from Western Nigerian ports. And in America today, you see a very large movement of African Americans who say that they're the real chosen people, that they're the children of Israel, they're the Judeans. You know, so what are they just trying to create an identity for themselves because they were slaves, or is there really something here? And the answer is, most likely there is something there. And most likely, maybe that they were the original Israelites, and maybe that the Jewish people today who are white, Caucasian people came in a little bit later on. We know that some of the greatest sages of the transmission of the Torah were converts from Rome. You have a man named Onkelos who wrote a commentary on the Torah, unprecedented, that we still learn today. He was a convert. Some of the largest pillars on the transmission today were Roman converts. So here we are, we're Caucasian Jewish people. And now you have people in Africa saying that they're the real people of Israel. It can't be ruled out at all. We know they were sold into slavery. We know now that they're fulfilling prophecies by saying, we're coming back.
Yeah, so there you are. You heard in the direct words of the leader of the Lamba people in Zimbabwe, they are Cohen Hamandishe. I love that name. I like Zimbabwean names. There's actually another name in Zimbabwe that sounds like my last name, Mukanaka. It's Wakanaka. But there's Cohen Hamandishe. They are confirming something that also should make us suspicious. He says he has concern that the Israel government actually confessed that they had found out that these guys, these Lamba people in Zimbabwe, were more Jew, 30 times more, 50 times more, 50 times more Jew, maybe even 100 times more Jew than the ones who are in Israel who claim that they are Jews. Because they have 70% of their DNA indicates they're direct descendants of the Levites. And so he airs concern there that it's been a year now. They confessed this, but they've never released the news. So you have to wonder, because one thing I've come to know about our friends, the Europeans, if they find reason to discredit anyone, they do it very quickly. If you find any lapses, any discrepancies in your facts and things like that, they make it global headlines. And this was an opportunity for these guys to disprove any claims from anywhere else in the world, or particularly in Africa, that they are Jews in Africa. This would have been the opportunity. But when they found out that these are really Jews, these are more Jews than they were Jews who are in Israel, they kept quiet. And that's Cohen Hamandishe's concern. He said, up until now, they've never gotten back to me. They told us the results themselves show, the results themselves prove that these people are the real Jews, but they've not made it global headline. And this is one of the things that you noticed about Western media. Whenever something doesn't fit into their narratives, doesn't give them the authority of narratives, they don't talk about it. And so, knowing that they love to control narratives, this would have been an opportunity to say, you see, all these people are claiming they're Jews in Africa. Look, we found the DNA results. The DNA results prove that they are wrong. They are just making claims. We are the original people. That would have been an opportunity for them to do that. But they kept quiet. Why? Guilt. They confessed to this man that we who claim that we are the Jews, we are only 1% Jewish. You guys, you are 70%, and you are actually from the lineage of the Levites in the Bible. Would you believe that? You are actually from the lineage. You're not only Jews, but you're actually from the lineage itself of priests, of the priesthood. That's a very, very strong statement. That's a very, very strong statement. This alone, ladies and gentlemen, would show you that truly those are not the people. The original people are the dark-skinned African people. But you see, especially we as Africans or dark-skinned people, we have a problem. We have a problem believing our own sources. Oftentimes, it has to take somebody who is white or European to come and say something for us to believe it. We don't even trust our own people. That's how much damage the trauma of racism and colonization and slavery has done to us. Last but not least, I want to show you a clip of news that is trending. Now, some of you might think this is not a credible source, but it is. There's news trending on social media of Benjamin Netanyahu, the son to Benjamin Netanyahu. I don't know what drove him to go and do a DNA test. And I'm sure his father must be really angry with him. But there are reports and evidence shown that he went and did a DNA test. I think he did the DNA test while he was on vacation in the US. Now, I don't know whether he did the DNA testing in the US or somewhere else, but at the time that he did the DNA, he was on a vacation in the USA. And he did a DNA test. Take a look at the results for yourself. Here they are.
This is Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. This is his son, Yair Netanyahu. Yair was supposed to be drafted into the so-called war and was supposed to join Zionist forces in the fighting. However, Yair decided to dodge the draft, where 350,000 reserve soldiers were called upon to go back to the Zionist entity and serve. Yair fled to Miami to hide out. This is Yair Netanyahu's DNA test that has been leaked. You can see right there his Y DNA is RM198. Descendants of RM198 come from Poland, Russia, Germany, and other European countries. Does this look Semitic to you? Does this look Middle Eastern? Nope, it looks like a colonizer. Benjamin Netanyahu is actually Polish, his real name being Benzion Milakowski. He changed his name to Netanyahu to sound more Middle Eastern or more foreign, I don't know. Both of his parents were in fact born in Poland, and all of his family ancestry and obviously his DNA comes from Poland. Netanyahu added this bit into his Wikipedia page, which I find really funny. It says, while his family is predominantly Ashkenazi, he has said that a DNA test revealed that he has some Sephardic ancestry. If you didn't know, Sephardic were the Spanish Jews that were originally from the Middle East. But how is Benjamin Mikołowski claiming that he has Sephardic ancestry when his son's DNA is literally Polish? Zionists try so hard to be Middle Eastern, it's embarrassing to say the least. Not only do they change their last names, but they also lie about their DNA.
Again, they're showing the same results as in the young man that I showed you in the first clip. The origins are Russia, Poland, Hungary, Eastern Europe. And there are books on history that actually describe how the people in Eastern Europe started converting to Judaism and becoming Jews. There are descriptions like that. And I like what Bishop Nathaniel has said in some of his presentations and teachings on this conflict. He has suggested that a lot of people only read the Bible. Try and read some old books that describe the history of these events. And I think that that's one of the weaknesses I found among many believers, that all we do is just read the Bible. And so therefore, the things that we read or the Bible we read has no grounding in reality. It's just hanging in the space. But I believe that in this particular program, at least, I've given you enough surrounding the issue of DNA. And remember, like I said, DNA was just one aspect of the many pieces that we need to look at in terms of finding out and investigating and coming to a conclusion or agreement in terms of who the real Jews are, who the true Jews are, or Israelites. And I think in a different video, I also mentioned that sometimes people argue these terminologies, Israel, Hebrew Israelites, or Israelites. Some have even said, we, the chosen people of God, are not Israelites. We're not Jews, we are Bantu, and things like that. And I think I believe I said in that video, I said, look, for me, the name is not the issue. The issue is the identity of the children of God, of who the people of God are. And then at some point, we're going to talk about how this connects to the fact that we are children of Abraham by faith. In the future, very near future, I'm going to iron out that issue because it's important that we connect to that. Because Christianity came and gave us this impression, or changed everything else, changed the order of things, and now people claim that we are only Jews by faith. So it's just an issue. It's just an issue of faith. You become born again and you're a Jew or a spiritual Jew and things like that. So we have to come and iron out that cloud so everything can be clear. But over on this one, on this particular video, I just wanted to bring that issue and evidence of DNA, so that there's no doubt in our minds whatsoever, at least regarding that one aspect alone. There's still a lot more issues to deal with, a lot more other things to deal with, such as the relationship with God, the involvement with LGBTQ and things like that. Those, again, I'm coming to do more videos. But for this particular one, thank you for joining me once again. I'll see you soon on the next one. So for now, let's go catch the day.